We told you this man could snap his fingers and bring emperors to their knees. But in this episode, Jakob Fugger learns a brutal lesson. You can bribe a prince, you can bribe a pope, but you cannot bribe a mountain. The spare son has secured the deal of the century. He has the paper. He has the monopoly. But paper burns, and monopolies breed enemies. He treated gold like ammunition, but he is about to find out that down in the crushing dark of the mines, his money is no good. The world thinks he has won, but has he? Let's find out in this episode. It's complete darkness, the sound of dripping water, echoing, amplified. Then a scream. 300 feet underground, a tunnel collapses. Rock meets flesh. This is the Schwarz silver mine, the Bullion of Christendom. It is the most dangerous workplace in Europe, and Jakob Fugger owns it. Or rather, he owns a piece of paper that says he owns it. But down here, in the dark, paper means nothing. The miners hate him. They call him the Augsburg Leech, and they have a saying, "The mountain takes what it wants." Right now, the mountain is taking Fugger's profits. Every collapse, every flood, every stolen cart of ore is bleeding him dry. He leveraged his family's entire existence on this hole in the ground. And 6 months after signing the contract with Archduke Sigmund, Jakob Fugger is not rich. He is technically insolvent. He needs the silver to come out fast. But the mountain has other plans, and so do the men holding the pickaxes. Jakob Fugger stands at the mouth of the mine. He is wearing velvet. The men around him are covered in graphite and mud. The contrast is offensive. He holds the contract signed by the Archduke. "This mine is under my administration," he tells the foreman. The foreman spits on the ground. "The Archduke can sign whatever he wants, but the guild controls the pick, and the guild says the pump is broken." This is the problem nobody talks about in history books. In the 15th century, you don't just buy a business. You have to fight a centuries-old system of guilds. These are organized labor cartels with their own laws, their own courts, and their own weapons. They believe the silver belongs to the men who bleed for it, not the man who lent money to a prince. Fugger looks at the mine shaft. It's flooded. The easy silver near the surface is gone. The rich veins are deep, below the water table. To get them, you need to drain the mountain. The guilds don't have the money for the technology to do that. They are digging with spoons when they need hydraulic pumps. Fugger realizes he has made a massive miscalculation. He bought the rights to the silver, but he didn't buy the means to extract it. He is bleeding interest payments every day. Most bankers would panic. They would sue the Archduke. They would try to sell the rights to someone else and cut their losses. But Fugger does the opposite. He doubles down. He realizes he can't fight the mountain alone. He needs a partner, someone who understands the rock better than the guilds. He needs a technocrat. Lightning lesson number 1. Capital is useless without competence. Money buys the asset. Expertise unlocks the value. He sends a letter, not to a banker, but to a mining engineer in Hungary, a man named Jan Thurzo. Thurzo is a genius, a master of mechanics. He knows how to build water-driven hoists that can lift water 600 feet straight up. Fugger offers him a deal that is unheard of in 1488. "I bring the money. You bring the machines, we split the profits, and we crush the guilds." It is the birth of the modern corporation. But before Thurzo can arrive, the foreman makes his move. A rockfall blocks the main entrance. It wasn't an accident. Fugger is locked out of his own mine. Fugger stands before the blocked entrance. The miners are watching him, arms crossed, holding sledgehammers. They are waiting for him to leave, to run back to Augsburg. Fugger doesn't run. He turns to his wagons. "Unload it," he says. His servants pull back the canvas. It's not weapons, it's food. Grain, salted pork, wine. Tyrol is in a famine. The Archduke is broke, remember? He hasn't paid the miners in months. The guild leaders are fat, but the workers are starving. Fugger looks at the men. "The guild says you can't work," he shouts, "but the guild isn't feeding you. I am." He starts handing out the food, free. One by one, the men drop their hammers. They take the bread. Fugger has just bypassed the middleman. He has bought the loyalty of the labor force directly. Lightning lesson number 2. Leverage exists where the pain is highest. The guilds controlled the rules, but Fugger controlled the stomach. Within a week, the rockfall is cleared. Jan Thurzo arrives with his engineers. They build massive wooden water wheels. The pumps start churning. The water level drops, and the silver, oh God, the silver, it starts coming up in buckets, then in carts, then in wagons. Pure gray leverage. Fugger takes the ore to his own smelters. He separates the silver from the copper. He is creating a vertical monopoly, from the rock face to the coin mint. But success is dangerous, because now he is visible. The silver wagons are rolling from Tyrol to Augsburg. They are heavy, loud, and they catch the eye of someone much more dangerous than a guild foreman. Archduke Sigmund was a local problem, but the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick III is a continental problem, and his son, Maximilian, the last knight, the most ambitious prince in Europe. Maximilian is watching the Fugger rise, and he is hungry. He invites Jakob to a meeting, not in a castle, in a war camp. Maximilian is fighting the French, fighting the Hungarians, fighting everyone. War is expensive. Fugger walks into the tent. Maximilian is charming, handsome, and completely broke. "Master Fugger," he says, "you have done well with my cousin Sigmund's mines, but Tyrol is a small province. I offer you something bigger." Fugger waits. "I need an army," Maximilian says. "I need 200,000 florins, now." It is the same trap as episode 1, but on a massive scale. If Fugger says no, Maximilian can seize the mines by imperial decree, national security. If Fugger says yes, he is lending to a Habsburg, and Habsburgs don't pay debts. They pay in titles, and titles don't buy wool. Fugger's partners, including the brilliant engineer Thurzo, tell him to run. "Take the silver we have and hide it. Do not get in bed with the emperor." But Fugger looks at the map on the table. Maximilian isn't just fighting wars. He's arranging marriages. He's trying to corner the Spanish throne, the Hungarian throne. If Maximilian succeeds, the Habsburgs will own the world. Fugger sees the path. He doesn't want to be paid back in cash. He wants to be the bank account of the empire. He looks Maximilian in the eye. "I will lend you the gold, Highness." Maximilian smiles. "Excellent. And for collateral?" "I don't want collateral. I want the copper ring." Maximilian freezes. The copper ring is the cartel that controls the copper trade for the entire world. Fugger is asking for a global monopoly. "Done," Maximilian says. He doesn't care about copper prices. He cares about knights. Fugger leaves the tent. He has just traded gold for a monopoly that will last a century. But as he walks back to his carriage, he feels a drop of rain, then another. A storm is coming, not from the sky, but from the Vatican. The letter he ignored in episode 1 has finally arrived.
A bishop is waiting at his carriage. Jakob Fugger. Yes. You are charging interest disguised as rent. You are monopolizing God's earth. The Pope has opened an inquiry. The bishop smiles. A cold, thin smile. If you are excommunicated, all your contracts are void. The emperor doesn't have to pay you back. The mines revert to the church. Fugger stares at him. He has the mines. He has the emperor. But if the church declares him a heretic, he loses it all. Fugger returns to Augsburg. He walks into his study. The silver is flowing, but the walls are closing in. He needs to kill the inquiry. He can't bribe the Pope. The Pope is too rich. He needs a theological loophole. He hires a lawyer, not just any lawyer, Johann Eck, the sharpest legal mind in Germany. Find me a way, Fugger says, find me a way to make profit holy. While Eck works, the pressure mounts. Maximilian is spending the money faster than Fugger can mint it. The mines must work harder. He pushes the miners, shifts double in length. Safety is ignored. And then, disaster. A fire in the Schwarz mine. Smoke billows out of the shafts, screams. Fugger stands there watching his empire burn. If the mine is destroyed, he can't pay Maximilian. If he can't pay Maximilian, the emperor turns on him. If the emperor turns on him, the church strikes. It is a house of cards. Thurzo runs up to him. We have to seal the shaft. We have to suffocate the fire, but there are men inside. Fugger looks at the smoke. He looks at the ledgers in his mind. It is the impossible choice. Save the men and lose the mine to the fire, or seal the mine, save the asset, and kill the men. Fugger's face is stone. Seal it, he says. Thurzo looks at him with horror. Jakob, seal it! They roll the heavy stones over the mouth of the shaft. The screams are cut off. Silence. Fugger walks away. He vomits behind a wagon. He has saved the business, but he has crossed a line from which there is no return. The silver is safe. 3 months later, the fire is out. The silver flows again. The accident is forgotten by everyone except the widows. Fugger is now the wealthiest commoner in history. He stands on a balcony in Vienna. Below him, a parade. Maximilian is there, and walking beside him is a young boy, maybe 10 years old, with a jaw that juts out, the Habsburg jaw. The boy's name is Charles. Fugger watches him. He doesn't know it yet, but that boy is the end game. That boy is going to inherit Spain, America, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. He's going to be the emperor of the world, and he's going to need a lot of money to buy the crown. Fugger turns to his brother. We need more silver, he says. Why, his brother asks. We have enough to buy kingdoms. Fugger points at the boy. Because I'm not just going to bankroll a king. I'm going to buy the emperor. But there is one final problem. To buy the empire, Fugger will need more gold than exists in all of Europe. He will have to create money that doesn't exist. He will have to invent the news. You may ask now, how will he pull this off? Well, that answer lies in the final episode of this series. Subscribe now to get notified when we drop it.